What's up, Star Wars fans? My name is Prince and I'm an urban acolyte. We are on the road to the Rise of Skywalker, and we've had two trailers to give us a glimpse of what's coming in the movie when it debuts in December. And now Lucasfilm has released a synopsis for Star Wars Episode 9 that teases what could be coming after the Skywalker Saga comes to an end in the Rise of Skywalker. The synopsis for The Rise of Skywalker reads, Lucasfilm and director JJ Abrams join forces once again to take viewers on an epic journey to a galaxy far, far away with Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, the riveting conclusion of the seminal Skywalker Saga, where new legends will be born and the final battle for freedom is yet to come. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker opens in US theaters on December 20th. So, the first thing of interest in the synopsis is the mention of new legends being born. Who are these new legends? I mean, so far, the sequel saga has really focused on a passing of the torch. We had the original saga about the Galactic Rebellion, establishing characters like Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, Han Solo, Chewie, and Lando Calrissian. The sequel saga has put our heroes from the original saga in the spotlight, and unfortunately, it has involved them bowing out of the story. First with Han Solo being slain by his son, Ben Solo, now Kylo Ren, supreme leader of the First Order, and then in The Last Jedi, Luke Skywalker became one with the Force as he created a diversion that allowed the last remnant of Leia's resistance to escape the First Order there on Crait. Now, with the real-life passing of Carrie Fisher, we have no idea what the status of Leia Organa Solo will be in Episode 9, but most people are placing their money on General Organa bowing out of the story in the final installment of the Skywalker Saga. And I don't know, what do you all think? Do you think Leia will survive in Episode 9, or do you think her character will die in this movie? Either way, we are presented with the rise of new legends. One of the things Lucasfilm has stressed to the audience is the return to the original storytelling. This means the Joseph Campbell formula for the hero's journey is at play. The original saga was really about Luke Skywalker and his journey. And like it or not, Leia, Han, Chewie, and the other heroes of the Rebel Alliance were really side characters in Luke's coming-of-age story to redeem his father, Anakin Skywalker, the Chosen One. I mean, up until George Lucas decided that he did not want to continue making movies to complete the saga back in the 80s while working on Return of the Jedi, Leia was not going to be Luke's twin sister. Luke's sister was going to be hidden somewhere else across the galaxy where she would have been introduced in Star Wars Episode 7. I say that because Leia was not very developed, not in the terms of the hero's journey. This story was just about Luke. The big change in the sequel saga and the continuation of the George Lucas canon is that everyone has their own personal journey, their own personal story. So characters like Rey, Finn, and Poe Dameron have their own hero's journey that is part of the larger story involving the Skywalker family. I mean, even Rose Tycho, whether you like her character or not, Rose also has elements of the hero's journey that happens in the books devoted to herself and her sister Paige, even though on screen, Rose's character pretty much serves as Finn's good conscience that helps him make the decision to step up and be a hero for the Resistance. Star Wars Episode 9 will continue to introduce new characters as this story expands beyond the Skywalker family. This brings us to the next thing mentioned in the synopsis, and that has to do with the Episode 9 apparently not being the final battle for freedom. This is something that I've said for at least the last year, if not longer. I did not feel that the war between the Resistance and the First Order would come to its conclusion in Episode 9. Based on what I picked up from rumors and speculations, it sounds like that there will be 3 factions in this movie. And I felt for a long time that people were wasting their time focused on Snoke because I thought there actually would be a Sith Lord in the background who was actually pulling the strings. This goes back to some things I deduced from looking at the concept art because it looked like there would be some kind of Darth Vader Force-using fanboy that was working for whatever iteration of the Empire still remained that was tasked with hunting down Luke's Jedi, who would be called the Jedi Killer. Han and Leia's son was always going to be someone who fell to the dark side. And that was based on notes from George Lucas about what he wanted to do with the sequel trilogy. And then there was artwork depicting a Sith Lord hiding in the shadows. Now that it's been confirmed that Palpatine will return as the ultimate evil, I believe that the war will take a backseat to defeating Palpatine and the possible return of the Sith Empire, inspired faction that will attempt to carry out the real contingency plan that Palpatine developed in the event that he and Vader fell before Palpatine was able to carry out his full plan to control the full power of the dark side of the Force. So if this movie goes from the war between the First Order and the Resistance to dealing with Palpatine and possibly the return of the Sith, well, I believe the war is going to continue. And the trilogies that are being developed by Dan and Dave, along with Rian Johnson's trilogy, are probably going to continue to deal with the war between the First Order and the Resistance, but they could deal with the conflict from different points of view and focus on a different group of heroes who were involved in the conflict. Now, one of the things that I hope to see moving forward is not only a reemergence of the Jedi, but I hope we get to see other kinds of Force users. I mean, if you're reading the final installment in the Thrawn trilogy, there appears to be Chiss Force sensitives who can actually use the Force beyond just having third sight or the precognitive abilities that Force users have to see things before they happen. There are at least 2 Chiss females who can fully use the Force, along with Snoke, out in the unknown regions. So it would be interesting if some of these new stories introduce us to new Force factions that exist in the unknown regions and in wild space. Like, for all we know, there may have been ancient Jedi and Sith who traveled into these previously unexplored places and just never returned back to Republic space. So I feel like Episode 9, while bringing the story of Anakin Skywalker and his family to a conclusion, I think it's going to continue to open up more storytelling for the future of Star Wars. Now, I have 2 questions for all of you, though. So a long time ago, I predicted that the Sith would return to Star Wars, and I believe that Kylo Ren would bring about their return. Now, I did not predict the return of Palpatine, but I felt like Kylo Ren would delve into the dark side and ultimately realize that he had to resurrect the Sith to advance his training into the ways of the dark side of the Force. So do you think Kylo Ren will continue down the dark path, or do you think that he's going to turn back to the light? Some people think he'll turn back to the light, but die because he'll sacrifice himself the same way Anakin sacrificed himself to save Luke. I mean, that's also a possibility, but I feel like it would be a waste to kill off Kylo Ren's character. It would be cool to see him save the galaxy with Rey, but choose the dark side and become some type of anti-hero. I mean, what do you think will happen with Kylo Ren, that character, by the end of Episode 9? Also, the other question has to do with the conflict between the First Order and the Resistance. Do you think this conflict will continue as Star Wars shapes its projects around this new war for possibly the next 10 years? I mean, think about it. The First Order has literally spent 30 years preparing to retake the galaxy. Palpatine's been working on his contingency plan for like 60 years, sending research teams out into the unknown regions during all this time to build assets. I mean, I could see the galaxy being fractured into all kinds of pieces that it takes a decade to resolve. And I mean, like, there's a lot to deal with, but what do you think is happening? So let me know your thoughts for Kylo Ren's story and the outcome of the war by the end of Episode 9 in the comments below. And I'll be checking back to see what you all have to say. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click that subscribe button so that you can take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Embark on the journey to become the hero of your own story and become a force for change in your community. Look, if you like this video and you want to see more, be sure to check out these videos on the top Star Wars theories for Star Wars Episode 9. And you can also check out this other video that YouTube has picked just for you. I think it's over here, is it? I don't know. That's all I got for this video. So thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you always.